Today we're going to be talking about what cars could be coming soon to Driving Empire, but before we do that, make sure to subscribe and drop a like in this video. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, now before we go over the cars I think could be coming soon, I just want to say it is pure speculation. You know, nothing's really confirmed except for this first car I'm going to go over, but besides this, nothing else is confirmed yet. It's just my predictions based off of stuff that's going on in the game, and most likely, my predictions could be correct. They could be wrong, but most likely I'd say my predictions are pretty accurate. I've been fairly accurate in the past. Almost like 70% of the brands I said that would get licensed, they end up getting licensed, so I think I'm pretty accurate with this stuff. But basically the first brand that is guaranteed 100% confirmed is this week we are getting a new Devel, I believe. So the Devel 16 is the only Devel I actually knew about. I'm sure you guys didn't know about any other Devels besides the one I'm driving right now, but I guess there's another one. We're gonna actually Google it right now. I don't know what it is. I have it on screen here for you to see, like the teaser they sent. So this is basically the first car that is coming soon. It's actually coming this Friday, I believe. But we're gonna go look into what this Devel is right now. Alright, I'm on the official Devel site. This is the car, the Devel 60. Wow. This thing is very interesting. I'm sure this is not what you were expecting to see in this video. Don't worry, we got real cars coming soon, but yeah, I don't know what the heck this thing is. I mean, you see the photos. It's definitely interesting looking, guys, but yeah, I don't really know. I mean, we're gonna go on their Instagram, I guess, and see if we can see the car right now. Here it is. Yeah, this thing is fascinating. I'll give it that, but I don't know. That's the first car, though, that I know is coming soon to Driving Empire. Okay, now the next brand I think that could be coming soon to Driving Empire is Mercedes, and this one's really complicated, so we'll start with one of the simpler things, and then we'll get, you know, to the more complicated details. So, basically, Mercedes, right, we have all their cars in game, or not all, but a lot of their cars in game right now, you can see, but they're not officially licensed, so these cars are technically in game illegally, because, you know, they obviously have the car design and model in game, but they don't have permission from Mercedes. They don't have the badges, they don't have the real names, so that's a little bit interesting, right? But Driving Empire removed basically almost every other car that was like this, that was illegally in game, so Mercedes is still around for some reason, which is interesting. But what makes it even more interesting is that Mercedes is, yes, still in game for people who owned it, but it's not in the dealership. And something similar happened with Porsche, where they were still in game and then they weren't in the dealership, right? And you know what happened to Porsche, obviously. It got licensed. So if you search Porsche, now they're officially licensed and back in the dealership. But for a period of time, they were not licensed and not in the dealership. And they were still in people's inventory, and then they got licensed. What the heck happened to the sky? That was weird, but basically, the point is, Mercedes off sale from the dealership, but it's still in people's inventories, so maybe what they're doing is working on remodeling every car to be licensed officially, and then when the time's right, you know, the update's gonna drop for Mercedes, I think. Now, you might be like, okay, that's a little bit of rough evidence. You're right, I actually have some stronger proof. Let me show you it. Okay, now here's some stronger evidence that Mercedes could potentially be coming. So here on this AGB video, we can see, he was looking at a tweet, right? This is 5 months ago, by the way, guys, 5 months ago. So it's been a bit of time since this happened, but basically, the point being, there's a tweet about Driving Empire and Mercedes, right? And then in the official Mercedes account in the comments, you can see, they say, let's see what the future holds. If you want, you can do more research on this topic. We're just quickly breezing through it. But basically, 5 months ago, the official Mercedes account was saying they're gonna see what the future holds. So maybe, you know, now it's the future. It's been like 5 months. Maybe Mercedes could be coming soon. I think it's highly possible considering, you know, they're on good terms because their cars haven't been removed. They officially have seen it. Like, the official Mercedes account's seen Driving Empire, so they said what the future holds. I don't know. It's up to you to speculate on that, but basically, I think it's a high chance that it's coming soon. Okay, now this next one's gonna be Lamborghini. Now, I've seen some talk going around about this. Now, obviously, Lamborghini technically already is licensed in-game, right? But I think this is more of like an event collaboration. Like when Roblox had the official Lamborghini event, it was kind of like something to promote that event. So Driving Empire was allowed to use the cars to help promote it. But I don't know if Lamborghini's officially licensed yet. Like, because obviously we only have 2 cars that were just in an event. So they were probably trying to promote the event, I think. But hear me out. I think there was actually a leak of the old owner of the game's inventory. He still works at the game making car models. His name's Borges. Now, you can't see his inventory anymore, but when it was open, people about 5 months ago, I believe, they actually saw, you know, other cars get leaked, and I believe those other cars that got leaked were like Koenigsegg models, right? So Koenigsegg's got leaked from his inventory before they were licensed, and now we have them in game. And you know what else got leaked? A Lamborghini Revuelto model. So Lamborghini Revuelto model was in his inventory around the same time that Koenigsegg's were in his inventory. Actually, it was spotted at the same time, I believe. So they saw the Koenigsegg models and the Lamborghini Revuelto model, and you can put the dots together with what I'm getting at, you know. Maybe he was just messing around with, you know, a Lamborghini Revuelto model to do some other stuff. I don't really know, but there's also, you know, a very high chance that Lamborghini Revuelto model is being used for Driving Empire in an update. So potentially more Lamborghinis officially licensed could be coming. I'm not too sure, but I mean, it just makes sense, you know. Why else would he have a Lamborghini Revuelto model in his inventory? There's not much of another reason besides the fact that, you know, it would be being used in Driving Empire. And like I said, you know, other cars were spotted in that inventory at the same time, and now those cars are in the game. Okay, now the next one I want to go over is Ford and Toyota. So basically, let's start with Ford. Now obviously we have all these Fords in game, right? And they might actually still be in the dealership. I'm not sure. We're gonna check. But similar situation to Mercedes, because if Ford didn't want their cars in the game, they would have asked them to remove it by now, because technically they're in game illegally, because, you know, they don't have permission to use these models. They don't have real badging. They don't have real names, so they're illegally using them. But Ford clearly doesn't care for some reason, because they're still in the game. And if we actually head in the dealership, they're still in the dealership, and it's literally the last brand to illegally be in the dealership in the game. So I think that probably means Ford doesn't care. Now, it's similar to Mercedes, but why wouldn't they care? Maybe because a licensing deal is already in the works. And stronger evidence of that is that we literally already have one Ford in game. Keep in mind, it's not like a normal Ford. This is a NASCAR Ford, but this is a Ford Mustang officially licensed NASCAR. So, you know, we kind of gone over this in a separate video if you want more detail, but I think Ford, you know, it's definitely got a strong spot of potentially being licensed, because I mean, it's got to be coming soon. There's no way it's not. I mean, we literally have an official Ford NASCAR in the game, right? And we have all these in game just off sale, the Tempexes, that's what they're called. But I mean, clearly if Ford didn't want these, they would have been removed. So obviously, you know, they're just gonna get turned, my guess would be they're just gonna be turned into the real models. When the update drops, you'll be refunded for some of them, would be my guess. Like, I know that this probably won't be in the update, so you'd probably get a refund for something like this. And then, you know, let's just take this, for example, this Ford GT. It would get converted into a higher quality model with the official badges on it that say Ford. So that's most likely what's gonna happen with this. I would say I'm about 99% sure that it's gonna happen. I mean, I would be really surprised if it doesn't. And then obviously Toyota, like I mentioned, let's kind of get into that. So Toyota, I'm a little bit less confident in, to be honest. Obviously, we have the Toyota NASCAR. We just got this recently, so this is the only Toyota in the game, technically. But NASCAR is a little bit different still than street car. And obviously, you know, Fords have a higher chance because their cars are still in game, and we have a Ford NASCAR. But Toyota, we only got a NASCAR. Now, I don't know if NASCAR just kind of convinced Toyota into doing this, but I don't think it will be that affiliated with Toyota Street Car. I mean, obviously, they had to get some kind of permission from Toyota, but I don't know if it fully confirms the chance of there being a Toyota license. I mean, I would love it to be true, but I really don't know, to be honest, if it confirms anything with a Toyota license. I would love it to, but I'm not too sure, to be honest. So let me know what you guys think about Toyota. Okay, now lastly, we have Bugatti and Rimac. Now, these two are basically affiliated. They're owned by the same CEO, I believe, Matej Rimac. He's a pretty chill guy. Let's start with that. So the reason I think these two could get licensed and be coming soon, Matej Rimac, man, just a chill guy, you know. He's really cool. He runs a lot of, you know, social media pages. He's kind of like more connected with the younger generation than most of these like other companies. You know, Matej Rimac, really chill. So, I mean, obviously he's different than like the people that would allow the licensing in that company, but still, I mean, I'm sure he would have some kind of say to it, and I'm sure he would say, you know, it's chill, they could license it, right? Now another thing is, Rimac, we have one in game right here. Similar situation to Mercedes and Ford. The model's in game, except this one's not in the dealership, so it's off sale, but the car was never forced to be removed from the game, which makes me think Driving Empire is on good terms with Rimac, and Rimac and Bugatti are affiliated, so therefore, you know, they're really connected, you know, basically owned by the same company. I believe that means if Rimac were to be licensed, Bugatti would be allowed to be licensed too. Obviously, they would still have to pay for both separate licenses, but they're kind of like intertwined licenses, you get what I'm saying? You know, you get one, you probably would have permission to get the other, same company, same deal. So my guess would be Rimac might be coming soon, because obviously we still have the car here. It's been off sale for about 5 months, give or take. So similar to the situation with Mercedes, and I'm predicting that Mercedes and Ford, which are all in like a similar boat, are going to be licensed very soon. Therefore, I'm predicting the same for this car. Now I don't know when, you know, it will be happening with this car, but I mean, I think it's very much possible with Rimac, more so than Bugatti, but Bugatti would come along later, I feel like. So yeah, I don't really know too much, but all I know is, like, this car, off sale right now, I think it could be coming back as a licensed car. I could see that happening pretty easily. You know, also, I'm sure Rimac would want to be in game, especially to compete with their competitors. Same with Bugatti, because all of Bugatti's competitors are in game. I mean, we have Koenigsegg. I would say Koenigsegg's a Bugatti competitor. And we have Pagani. So I'm sure Driving Empire and Bugatti would work out a deal, because, like, I mean, Driving Empire could go like, hey Bugatti, we have your competitors in game, Pagani and Koenigsegg. Don't you want your car in here to be comparable to them too? I'm sure they would say yes. And same deal with Rimac. Pininfarina, I would say this is their competitor for an electric hypercar. Obviously owned by the same company still, Bugatti and Rimac, keep that in mind. So if one comes, most likely the other will. But what I'm saying is, both games have their competitors, or I mean not both games, both companies have their competitors in the game, right? So, you know, Pininfarina here, competitor to Rimac. Pagani and Koenigsegg, obviously competitor to Bugatti. I'm sure they would want their cars in game to compete. You feel what I'm saying? You know, a lot of these car brands like to compete with their competition, so they like to break each other's records, like to outdo each other. So if they wanted to do that, you know, licensing would make sense for them. Once again, keep in mind, most of this was speculation. Obviously, some stuff is more likely than others, and I made sure at the start of the video to include the stuff that was more likely, and as we got farther in, you know, it became less likely that it would happen. So just keep that in mind, but I truly hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like. I would truly appreciate it. Subscribe, ring the notification bell so you never miss another upload. Check out the video on screen here, YouTube links to like it, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.